Deep within the Vies Marineris on Mars, the excavation lights illuminated something that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Captain Nikolai Volkov stood before the massive hull of what could only be described as humanity's greatest discovery, an ancient star destroyer, buried for millennia beneath the red Martian soil. Initial scans complete, Captain, reported Lieutenant Jun Wei from his monitoring station. You're not going to believe these readings. The power signature is off the charts, and the weapons systems, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. The vessel stretched for nearly 2 kilometers, its dark hull seeming to absorb both light and sensor scans. Despite being buried for thousands of years, it looked as if it had been built yesterday. Sleek, predatory, and unmistakably of human origin, though how that was possible, no one could explain. Director Olivia Blackridge, head of the Mars Archaeological Division, approached with a tablet displaying streams of data. Carbon dating puts this at roughly 50,000 years old, Captain. Our ancestors weren't supposed to have this kind of technology. Hell, they weren't supposed to have any technology. Before Nikolai could respond, the ground crew's radios crackled with an urgent transmission from Earth Defense Command. Captain Volkov, we have multiple unidentified vessels entering the solar system. They're not responding to hails, and their weapons are hot. The timing couldn't have been worse, or perhaps it couldn't have been better. Nikolai turned to his chief engineer, Commander Hakim Rahman. How close are we to activating this thing? The ship's systems have been responding to our presence, Hakim replied, his eyes never leaving his diagnostic panel. It's like it was waiting for us. We could have basic power in 30 minutes, but weapons and propulsion might take hours. They didn't have hours. The alien vessels were approaching rapidly, their formation suggesting military precision. Earth's defensive fleet was still in its infancy, a handful of cruisers and destroyers that would be hopelessly outmatched against an advanced alien armada. Everyone aboard, Nikolai ordered. If those ships are hostile, this might be our only chance. The bridge of the ancient star destroyer hummed with energy as the crew took their positions. The interior was a perfect fusion of advanced technology and intuitive design, as if it had been built specifically for human use. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing tactical data in crystal-clear detail. Suddenly, a voice boomed through every communication channel in the solar system. Attention primitive species. This is High Commander Zexthor of the Galactic Concordat. Your system has been scheduled for absorption into our empire. Resistance is. The alien's message cut off abruptly as the Star Destroyer's systems surged to full power. Lights blazed across its hull as ancient engines awakened, lifting the massive vessel from its resting place with impossible grace. A holographic figure materialized on the bridge, a woman in ancient military uniform, her appearance shifting between solid and ethereal. Greetings, descendants. I am Nova, Neural Operating Variant Algorithm. This vessel's primary directive remains unchanged, the defense of humanity. The alien fleet approached Mars, their weapons charging. But as targeting systems locked onto the ancient vessel, something remarkable happened. The Star Destroyer's hull began to pulse with energy patterns that defied physics itself. Multiple weapons locks detected, Lieutenant Wei reported, then paused in amazement. But our shields are at 400% capacity and rising. This technology, it's not just advanced, it's beyond anything in our database. Nova's hologram smiled. The Stellar Aegis-class Star Destroyer was humanity's ultimate achievement. The galaxy once feared our capabilities. Perhaps it's time they remembered why. The alien vessels opened fire, a barrage that would have annihilated Earth's entire defense fleet. The energy weapons splashed harmlessly against the Star Destroyer's shields, their power seemingly absorbed and redirected. Weapons are online, Hakim announced, his voice filled with awe. But these aren't just weapons, they're reality manipulation systems. We're not just firing energy or projectiles. We're temporarily rewriting the laws of physics in localized areas. Captain Volkov stood at the command center, feeling the power thrumming through the massive ship. Humanity had just been thrust onto the galactic stage, armed with technology that their supposed conquerors couldn't comprehend. Send a message to the alien fleet, he ordered. Tell them humanity is reclaiming its place in the galaxy. And if they're wise, they'll take some time to reconsider their approach. The Star Destroyer's primary weapon charged, its energy signature causing the alien vessel's sensors to go haywire. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's forgotten past held powers beyond their imagination, and the age of human subjugation was over before it began. The Galactic Concordat's fleet hung motionless in space, their weapons still hot but inactive after witnessing the Star Destroyer's shield capability. High Commander Zexthor's scaled face filled the main view screen of the ancient vessel's bridge, his compound eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and disbelief. "This is impossible," Zexthor hissed. "Our scans indicated your species had barely achieved interplanetary travel. You should be defenseless." Captain Volkov stood calmly before the screen, Nova's hologram floating serenely beside him. "Perhaps your intelligence is outdated, Commander. Now, shall we discuss terms of withdrawal, or would you prefer a demonstration of our offensive capabilities?" Before the alien commander could respond, emergency signals blared across both ships. Lieutenant Wei's hands flew across his holographic controls. Multiple quantum ruptures detected. 3 more fleets just entered the system, Draconid Empire vessels from the north, Hedron Collective from the south, and something massive coming in from the outer system. "It seems word travels fast," Hakim commented dryly from his engineering station. "The vultures are circling." The massive vessel emerging from the outer system revealed itself to be a world ship, a mobile battle station the size of a small moon. Its surface bristled with weapon emplacements, and its energy signature dwarfed that of the other alien fleets combined. A new figure appeared on the view screen, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline shell. "I am Sovereign Executor Zandrath of the Ascended Dominion. We have monitored this sector for millennia, waiting for signs of the ancient powers stirring. Your activation of this vessel has confirmed our worst fears." Nova's hologram stepped forward, her form shifting to match the intensity of her words. "The Ascended Dominion. You've changed your name, but I remember what you once were. Tell me, do your people still speak of the Battle of the Thousand Suns?" The energy being's glow flickered momentarily, a sign of disturbance. "That conflict is sealed in our deepest archives." "How could you?" "Because I was there," Nova interrupted. "This vessel, the Stellar Aegis, broke your ancestors' greatest fleet. Alone. Would you care to test if time has dulled our capabilities?" The bridge crew watched in amazement as the ancient AI faced down beings that, moments ago, had seemed unstoppable. Captain Volkov seized the moment of uncertainty. "All vessels in Earth space, be advised. We have no desire for conflict, but we will defend our sovereignty. You have 1 hour to withdraw beyond the Kuiper Belt." The response was immediate and unexpected. The Hedron Collective's ships began powering down weapons. Their commander, a synthetic being composed of interlocking geometric shapes, addressed the assembled fleets. The prophecies spoke of this day, the return of the world breakers. "We request time to reassess, to negotiate. The galaxy has changed much since your slumber began." One by one, the alien commanders voiced similar requests. Even the mighty world ship of the Ascended Dominion began to pull back, its weapon systems powering down. Only Zexthor's Concordat fleet remained battle-ready. "You're all cowards," the scaled commander snarled. "One ancient vessel, and you tremble like spawnlings? We will show you its true measure." His fleet's weapons charged to maximum power. Energy beams lanced out, enough firepower to crack a planet. The Star Destroyer's shields flared briefly, absorbing the assault without strain. "Weapons locked," Lieutenant Wei reported calmly. "Reality manipulation field stable." Captain Volkov nodded grimly. "Single-shot demonstration. Minimal power." The Star Destroyer's primary weapon activated. A beam of pure white light, barely visible to human eyes, lanced out. Where it touched Zexthor's flagship, space itself seemed to warp. A perfect sphere of hull simply ceased to exist, the edges so clean they seemed drawn with mathematical precision. "By the void," the Hedron commander whispered. The legends were true. They could reshape reality itself. Zexthor's damaged vessel listed in space, its crew scrambling to contain the breach. The scaled commander's next words came through gritted teeth. We request time as well, to reconsider our approach." Nova's hologram surveyed the assembled alien fleets, her expression both proud and warning. "Humanity has reclaimed its heritage, though we still remember only fragments of our past. Take your time. Consider carefully. But know this, we will not be conquered. We will not be contained. The galaxy once learned to fear human ingenuity. Do not force us to teach that lesson again." As the alien vessels retreated, Captain Volkov turned to his crew. "Send word to Earth Defense Command. Tell them everything has changed. Humanity isn't just joining the galactic community, we're returning to it." Commander Ramon studied the Star Destroyer's engineering readouts with growing excitement. "Captain, these systems, they're not just weapons. This ship was designed to create, to explore, to push the boundaries of science itself. What our ancestors achieved, and what we'll achieve again, Volkov finished. But first, we need to understand why they buried this ship, why we forgot our own history. Nova, how much of your memory remains intact? The AI's form flickered thoughtfully. Enough to know that humanity's path forward must be chosen carefully. The galaxy fears us now, as they should. But fear alone does not build empires. What comes next will determine whether humanity rises to its full potential or repeats the mistakes that led to our long slumber. Beyond the viewport, Earth shone blue and peaceful, unaware that its place in the cosmos had just been irrevocably changed. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations were retreating, buying time to adapt to humanity's sudden resurgence. But as the crew of the Star Destroyer would soon learn, some secrets of the past are better left buried, and not all enemies can be defeated with superior firepower. 3 days after the confrontation in Earth's solar system, the Star Destroyer Stellar Aegis orbited Mars, its presence alone keeping curious alien vessels at the edge of the system. Inside the ship's vast library chamber, Captain Volkov watched in awe as Nova projected a holographic map of the ancient human empire. 50,000 years ago, the AI explained, humanity controlled nearly a quarter of the galaxy. Our technology wasn't just advanced, it fundamentally altered how we understood reality itself. The map showed thousands of star systems, all once under human control. Lieutenant Wei studied the display with growing amazement. But how did we lose it all? How did we forget? Nova's hologram flickered, her expression growing solemn. We didn't lose it. We chose to hide it. Before she could elaborate, Commander Ramon burst into the chamber. Captain, you need to see this. We've decoded more of the ship's database, and, well, you should just come look. The engineering bay had been transformed into a makeshift research center. Holographic displays showed streams of ancient data, technical specifications that defied modern physics, and something else, warnings. The Star Destroyer isn't just a weapon, Ramon explained, pulling up detailed schematics. It's a key. There are others out there, sleeping, waiting. Each one protecting something our ancestors thought was too dangerous to leave active. Captain Volkov studied the readouts, his expression grave. Nova, explain. The AI materialized beside them, her form shifting through various historical figures as she accessed deep memory banks. The reality manipulation drive that powers this vessel was just the beginning. Humanity discovered ways to alter the fundamental constants of the universe. We could rewrite physics itself within limited areas. But power like that comes with a price, Volkov finished. Precisely. The galaxy feared us not because we were conquerors, but because our experiments threatened the stability of space-time itself. The final project, Operation Infinity Mirror, nearly shattered reality across 12 star systems. Lieutenant Wei's console suddenly lit up with urgent alerts. Captain, we've got incoming. The Ascended Dominion's world ship just quantum jumped to Mars orbit. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. The crystalline form of Sovereign Executor Zandrath appeared on the main display, its energy form pulsing with unusual patterns. Descendants of Earth, we have completed our initial analysis. Our archives have been unsealed. We know what your ancestors nearly achieved and what they sacrificed to prevent it. Volkov straightened his uniform. Explain. Your people were reaching for godhood itself, the ability to rewrite the laws of creation at will. But you saw the madness that would follow, the chaos as every species, every faction tried to reshape reality to their whims. So you made a choice. Nova nodded slowly. The Great Sleep. We buried our most powerful technologies, wiped our own memories, and began again. This ship was left as both guardian and warning. The energy being's crystalline shell shimmered. We request a formal audience. Not just our dominion, but all major galactic powers. We need time, not out of fear, but out of respect for your ancestors' wisdom. The power you now hold could either unite the galaxy or tear it apart. In the days that followed, diplomatic vessels from across the galaxy arrived at a neutral location near Jupiter. The Star Destroyer's mere presence ensured peaceful negotiations. Captain Volkov found himself representing not just Earth, but humanity's rediscovered legacy. The Hedron Collective's synthetic ambassador spoke for many. We feared your weapon, but now we fear more what it represents. Reality manipulation technology, if it proliferates, could trigger an arms race that would destroy everything. Then help us, Volkov proposed. Work with us to understand our past, to ensure these powers are used wisely. The Star Destroyer was left operational for a reason, not to dominate, but to protect. Nova's hologram addressed the assembled aliens. My creators didn't hide their legacy out of shame, but out of hope. They believed their descendants would one day be wise enough to handle powers that they themselves struggled to control. The Draconid Empire's representative, a serpentine being with cybernetic enhancements, raised an interesting point. Your ship's power forced us to request time, to reconsider war. Perhaps that was its true purpose, not to fight, but to ensure peace through the mere threat of its capabilities. As the diplomatic talks continued, Commander Ramon made another discovery in the ship's database. He called Captain Volkov aside, his face pale. "Sir, I found references to other sites. Mars isn't the only place humanity left its legacy. There are more ships, more facilities, hidden throughout the galaxy. Some in the territories of the very powers we're negotiating with." Volkov understood the implications immediately. Any of these sites could hold power equal to or greater than the Star Destroyer. The wrong discovery at the wrong time could shatter the fragile peace they were building. Nova appeared between them, her form now showing the wear of accessed memories. "Now you understand the true burden. It's not about wielding power. It's about knowing when not to use it. Our ancestors buried their greatest achievements not in defeat, but in their finest moment of clarity." The captain looked out at the assembled alien ships, at the tenuous peace being built on mutual fear and respect. "Then we honor their wisdom. The Star Destroyer stays active, not as a weapon of war, but as a reminder of what's possible and what's at stake." The ancient ship hung in space, its dark hull reflecting distant starlight. Within its corridors lay the power to reshape reality, but its greatest strength now lay in what it represented: a second chance for humanity to handle godlike power with the wisdom its ancestors had learned too late. The galaxy had asked for time, not just out of fear, but out of a desperate hope that this time, things would be different. The question that remained was whether humanity's descendants would prove worthy of their inheritance, or if history would repeat its deadly cycle. The stellar Aegis glided silently through the darkness between worlds, its presence casting a long shadow across the political landscape of the galaxy. 2 weeks had passed since the initial confrontation, and Earth's governments were still struggling to process the implications of their rediscovered heritage. Captain Volkov stood in the ship's newly discovered meditation chamber, watching as Nova projected images of other hidden facilities across a curved wall of liquid light. 7 more sites confirmed, the AI reported, each containing technology that could fundamentally alter the balance of power. "And everyone's looking for them," Lieutenant Wei added, entering the chamber with a data tablet. "Our long-range sensors have detected over 300 scout ships from various civilizations, all searching systems with historical human presence." The race had begun, despite the diplomatic pleasantries. Every major power in the galaxy now knew that humanity had hidden more than just the Star Destroyer, and none of them wanted to risk their rivals finding these facilities first. Commander Ramon's voice came through the ship's internal communications. "Captain, we've got a situation. The Hedron Collective just contacted us. They found something in the Arcturus system." Minutes later, the senior staff assembled on the bridge as a holographic representation of the discovery filled the command center. A massive structure, clearly of human design, floating in the void between Arcturus's 4th and 5th planets. Initial scans suggested some kind of research facility, the Hedron ambassador's geometric form explained. "We're sharing this information as a gesture of trust, but we request your immediate presence. Our scientists believe the facility's containment systems are failing." Captain Volkov turned to Nova. "You recognize it?" The AI's form shifted, displaying analytical overlays. "The Arcturus Nexus. It was a testing ground for dimensional manipulation technology. If its containment is failing..." She paused, her expression grave. "The facility could tear a hole in reality itself." "Plot a course," Volkov ordered. "Maximum speed." The Star Destroyer's reality manipulation drive engaged, bending space-time around the vessel. They covered the distance to Arcturus in hours instead of weeks, emerging to find a scene of barely contained chaos. The ancient facility was massive, easily 20 kilometers across, its surface crackling with energy discharges that distorted the very fabric of space around it. Ships from multiple civilizations hovered at a safe distance, their sensors trained on the deteriorating structure. "Life signs detected inside," Lieutenant Wei reported. "Multiple species. Looks like several research teams tried to access the facility independently. Before Volkov could respond, a new vessel emerged from quantum space, the Ascended Dominion's world ship. Sovereign Executor Zandrath's transmission was immediate and urgent. Captain Volkov, my scientists have analyzed the energy patterns. The facility isn't just failing, it's cycling up. Someone activated the primary systems without proper protocols. Nova's hologram expanded, interfacing with the Star Destroyer's deep scanners. Confirmed. The Nexus was designed to research controlled reality bubbles, spaces where the laws of physics could be selectively rewritten. If the containment fails completely, how do we stop it? Volkov demanded. We don't, Nova replied. But we can contain it. The Star Destroyer wasn't just built for warfare. It's a stabilization platform. Our weapons don't just manipulate reality, they can reinforce it. Understanding dawned on Commander Ramon's face. We used the ship's reality manipulation drive to create a shell of stabilized space-time around the facility. The power requirements would be enormous, Nova warned. We would need help. Captain Volkov opened a channel to all vessels in the system. This is no longer about political advantage or ancient weapons. If that facility breaches, it takes half this sector with it. I'm proposing a joint operation. The response was immediate. The Hedron Collective's ships moved into position first, their geometric vessels forming a perfect pattern around the facility. The Draconid Empire's quantum-heavy cruisers followed, then the Ascended Dominion's world ship. Coordinating power distribution, Commander Ramon reported. The other ships are linking their energy grids to ours. Ready on your command. Volkov stood at the center of his bridge, watching as ancient human technology and modern alien engineering prepared to work in concert. Nova, begin the containment sequence. The Star Destroyer's reality manipulation drive pulsed with power beyond anything they'd yet attempted. Streams of energy flowed from the Allied vessels, channeling through the ancient ship systems. Around the failing facility, space itself began to stabilize, the wild energy discharges being forced back by layers of reinforced reality. Multiple quantum breaches detected inside the facility, Lieutenant Wei called out. Something's trying to punch through. Increase power to the containment field, Volkov ordered. We hold the line here. The ship groaned under the strain, its hull temperature rising as it channeled unprecedented amounts of energy. On the main viewer, they could see distortions in space-time trying to escape the facility, only to be forced back by their combined efforts. Hours passed in tense concentration. Finally, the facility's power signature began to fade. The containment held. Quantum breaches sealed, Wei reported. Reality stabilizing within normal parameters. The assembled fleet maintained position as rescue ships moved in to evacuate the trapped research teams. Captain Volkov looked at the ancient facility, now safely dormant, and understood something profound about humanity's legacy. We buried our technology not just to protect the galaxy from us, he mused, but to protect everyone from powers that no one, not even we, were ready to control. Nova nodded. And in doing so, created something unexpected. Look around you, Captain. Ships from across the galaxy, traditional rivals and enemies, working together. The Star Destroyer brought them here with its power, yes. But they stayed, and helped, out of something more. The Hedron Ambassador's transmission confirmed the AI's observation. We asked for time to reconsider our approach to humanity's return. Today has shown us wisdom we didn't expect. Power that could have been used to dominate, instead used to protect. As the crisis passed and the Allied ships began to withdraw, Captain Volkov received private messages from each major power. They still feared the Star Destroyer's capabilities, still worried about other hidden facilities and ancient weapons. But they had seen humanity choose cooperation over dominance, protection over power. The galaxy had asked for time to adjust to humanity's return. In granting that request, humanity had proven they weren't just heirs to godlike technology. They were worthy of the responsibility it carried. 1 month after the Arcturus incident, Earth's orbital space had transformed. Where once a handful of primitive satellites cluttered the atmosphere, now a grand assembly of vessels from across the galaxy gathered. The Star Destroyer's stellar aegis held position above them all, a silent guardian watching over humanity's first galactic conference. Captain Volkov adjusted his formal uniform as he prepared to address representatives from over 30 space-faring civilizations. The great hall of the newly constructed Unity Station hummed with nervous energy as beings of all forms waited to hear humanity's decision about their recovered legacy. Hard to believe a month ago they wanted to conquer us, Lieutenant Wei whispered, standing at his side. Now they're hanging on our every word. Nova's hologram materialized beside them, her form now incorporating elements from all the major galactic powers, a symbol of unity. They fear what we might become, she said. But more importantly, they hope for what we could achieve together. The Sovereign Executor Zandrath approached, its crystalline form gleaming under the station's lights. The time we requested is ending, Captain. The galaxy awaits your species' choice. Volkov nodded and stepped to the podium. The chamber fell silent as translation systems activated, carrying his words to every being present. 1 month ago, humanity rediscovered its past. We learned that our ancestors once wielded power that could reshape reality itself. We learned why they chose to hide that power, to sleep, to begin again. He paused, looking across the assembled faces. Many of you feared us. Some still do. The Star Destroyer's capabilities forced you to request time. Time to reconsider your approach to Earth. The Hedron Collective's ambassador's geometric form pulsed in agreement. We expected you to use this time to uncover more weapons, to build an empire anew. Instead, the Draconid Emperor's serpentine form rose. You helped contain a disaster that threatened us all. You shared knowledge that could have been used for leverage. You chose, differently than we anticipated. Commander Ramon stepped forward, activating a holographic display in the center of the hall. It showed the locations of all known hidden human facilities, far more than anyone had suspected. We've mapped them all, Ramon announced. 37 facilities containing reality manipulation technology. Enough power to reshape the galaxy according to any whim. Our ancestors left us a choice, not about whether to use these weapons, but about what kind of civilization we want to be. The display shifted, showing the Arcturus incident from multiple angles. The Star Destroyer, instead of dominating, working in concert with ships from across the galaxy to contain a threat to all. This is our decision, Volkov continued. We propose the formation of a new organization, the Reality Protection Coalition. The Star Destroyer will be its flagship, but not as a weapon of war. Instead, it will lead a combined fleet, drawing ships and crews from all willing civilizations. Murmurs rippled through the crowd as Nova expanded the display, showing proposed patrol routes and response protocols. The ancient facilities will not be destroyed, she explained. Their technology may be needed someday, but neither will they be exploited. Together, we will guard them, study them safely, and ensure that reality itself remains protected. The Ascended Dominion's world ship commander spoke next. You could have dominated us. The Star Destroyer alone could have forced the galaxy to bow. Why choose this path? Volkov smiled. Because our ancestors taught us the most important lesson of all, power isn't about what you can do. It's about what you choose not to do.